Hello, global family, and hello, new friends. For those of you who are not familiar, we've actually had a wonderful new group of people joining us. So you are all instantly part of our global family. We hope you know that. So welcome. Anyway, I'm reaching out tonight. I know it's been a while, but I just had a few things that really seem to be coming up in my life recently, and I don't know if they might be coming up with in yours. So kind of to jump ahead and not do anything in really chronological order, because sometimes you have to eat dessert first, right? Um, so we are absolutely thrilled to announce that Prevention Magazine is featuring our story in their December issue. They were looking for inspiring mother-daughter stories, and guess what? Yay! I guess Skylar and I made the cut. We have been for the past few weeks we've been either talking to their amazing journalist. Actually, her name is Tracy, and she's just vibrant, and you can just feel her energy and just diving in there. And so it's been really wonderful. It's been a chance to kind of brainstorm and go back and forth a little bit and really dig deep into the impact, pardon the pun, that this boulder has had on our lives so profoundly. And one of the things that came up was, I guess when we're in the midst of a challenge, we've all been through these moments where the obstacles that we face just seem to come crushing down upon us, or the adversity, or just the general hits in life. And sometimes they can be things that feel like big hits, like something really monumental to do with our finances, or our relationships, or our health, or our loved ones, or I guess just even our outlook on life. And it can feel like we're being suffocated. So she and I were really digging deep. And when you have those moments, and when it feels like your world has been just split in two, where do you go? What's the life ring that you cling to? And I think for me, it evolved into two really big things. One was finding a way to claim my own greatness, because if I didn't have a greatness that I could embrace and that I could draw from, I had nothing to offer my daughter in her moment of great need. So that was not the time to question whether I'm worthy, or certainly not to, I guess we all sometimes fall prone to maybe self-loathing. So how do you get beyond it? So for me, it was kind of pushing through all those curtains and going, wait a minute, there's a greatness in all of us that can never be put out. It's there, even if it's just kind of cluttered on top with all kinds of garbage, really artificial garbage in most cases, that we put upon ourselves and said that we're not good enough, or we've allowed other people to make us feel like we're not good enough because. So finding that greatness in the midst of, particularly when faced with some of our tremendous fears, I think that is a critical piece of differentiating us from being overwhelmed and never moving beyond that, to successfully taking something that is a huge challenge and combining it with our greatness and catapulting way through that and far beyond, to a place that we prior never dreamed that we could even reach, much less sometimes even imagine realistically being a possibility in our lives. So that was a kind of a huge thing for me. And also next to that, I think, is what do we do when we're faced with fear and uncertainty and how do we push beyond that? How do we all of a sudden reach a new, whether you want to call it a phase in our life or something's very different, something's changed, something pushes us outside of our comfort zone. And what do? Do we hide under the covers, or do we kind of take a breath and maybe hold on to the concept of this discomfort being temporary, and realizing that the key to our success, oh, it's warm in here. The key to our success is realizing that fear can either be our enemy, or fear can also be our catalyst. So with those two things in mind to kind of muse upon, I'll share a few little details that have come up in our own life. Last Wednesday, it felt like it was kind of popped upon us. Skylar was officially graduated from Tampa General's outpatient rehab. As you can imagine, we have mixed feelings about that. I mean, obviously we're excited. We look back and gosh, I look at photos or I look at video from a year and a half ago when she was, finally just progressing in April of 2016 into inpatient rehab. And my goodness, they couldn't even put her in an upright position without causing excruciating pain, nausea, the whole 9 yards. And she certainly couldn't sit on her own. And now I think, like I've mentioned before, I can sit her down and set her up with her iPad, and I can grab the dogs and go out for a little 10-minute walk with the doggies and not worry, know that she's going to be fine when I come back in. So it's a marathon, but it's a marathon going forward, thank goodness. And the fact that they would graduate her says that they finally themselves feel comfortable that now we can be working on a lot of these just repetitive things that have to be repeated over and over and over again at home safely, without us ending up in a pile on the floor surrounded by dachshund legs and tails. So that's a really good thing. On the other hand, of course, it's new terrain for us. We've gotten used to kind of the rehab family, 3 times a week getting out of the townhouse and going in and doing the queen wave to the Sandras. Well, there used to be 2 Sandras. Now there's 1, but it's, I would reel Sky in and do a little turn and do the little wave and hi, Sandra, and Sky would squeal, and this big, beautiful Sandra would like, oh, hi, Skylar, and we'd wave at all the familiar faces, all the different patients, and who were also plowing ahead. We would have fun making everybody smile. Sky, of course, we knew all of the therapists, even the substitutes, and it was our community. So to say goodbye to our community and to basically now be pretty much 100% in the townhome is, a little daunting. And of course, time is a huge factor for me. Probably the scariest aspect has not been, Skylar and her recovery. It's been, oh my gosh, how do I do what I really want to do with Skylar, for Skylar, and maintain any semblance of continuing a business that has to support us and maintain our livelihood. It's weird how all of that comes into play and just adds an extra little element of excitement, let's say, and challenge. And it's sometimes it is scary, and so that's when I go back to the concept of fear and worry. None of us are immune. We just have to learn how to either act in spite of it, or we have to learn to shift it and I guess channel it. I think I might have mentioned to you all back in April, this April, I went to an incredible camp called the Enlightened Warrior Camp. And that was an exercise in facing my fears. And there were things actually that were amazing, things that, like I just expressed it, my fears, it's almost as if they're an integral part of me as much as the blood that flows through my veins. And at the time, I really believe that was the case, particularly in the case of kind of claustrophobia and a fear of heights. Wow, big time. That was me. That was who I was. And interestingly enough, I left not only realizing that the fear of heights was something that inadvertently long ago, probably when I was a child, I bought into, and I really believe that that was part of me. And it's not, it doesn't have to be at all. But most importantly, I realized that a warrior isn't a warrior because they don't feel the huge brunt of powerful emotions like fear, like anxiety, like worry, any of those kind of fears that can make me, and probably you, stop and it stopped dead in my tracks and literally physically break out into sweat and a panic and stop me cold. Those emotions, a warrior feels them, but when we get to the point where we really are enlightened warriors, we realize that our greatness, and then we go back to that, our greatness is enough. It's big enough to face even our greatest fears and power through them so that we can shape those fears and funnel those fears, the energy behind those fears, I guess I should say, into being the exact rocket fuel that we need to burst out of the stone and reveal the diamond within ourselves that is hidden beneath, and to accomplish things that we, again, never would have dreamed that we would accomplish, and to soar to our highest of heights. So it has been quite an amazing few weeks. For me personally, it was monumental. I had the opportunity to be up on stage at an event called Mission Possible, where I was actually a student in the audience only a year before. How crazy is that? Who would have thought? It just kind of shows how far we can come in a year, and in the process, how much we can learn about ourselves, even in rather stressful, dire situations. But we can overcome this. We are powerful. We are more powerful than we often give ourselves credit for being. So as I leave you this evening, I just once again reiterate what an amazing planet we live on, what an amazing species we are. One of our greatest gifts is our ability to adapt no matter what. You all who have graced our lives and our journey and cheered us on and shared our tears, our joys, our challenges, our triumphs, and listened to me and my little insights about life and musing about the world. I hope that I might gift you something that would be insightful about your life. And I promise you, you all have gifted me things that have transformed mine. So again, let's go out and let's claim our own greatness. Let's claim the greatness that allows us to be uniquely who we are and be the perfect puzzle pieces that are required for the absolute synchronicity of this incredible planet. And let us revel in each and every breath and each and every day, each and every experience, good, bad, ugly, or polka dot. And most of all, remember to send our powerful vibes of love and upliftment and joy to each other. Look deep into each other's eyes, even if you've never met the other person before. Look for their special uniqueness. Look for what they can share with you and beam out all that you can beam out to them. There is such a beauty in each of us, and that beauty is what will make us soar and make us shine. So have an amazing weekend, everyone. We, once again, send you all of our love. Mwah. Until next time, my wonderful, sweet global family. Mwah.